Good morning. It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from Temple of Balance and I'm here to host our Healing List event. This is a special event that happens at the end of each month for some of my Temple of Balance patrons on Patreon. So I want to start by sending out a huge thank you to my Temple of Balance patrons. Thank you for your support, your ongoing support and your support this month. So today I have 25 people on the healing list. You cannot be added to the healing list now, but if you would like to be on the healing list next month, then please follow the link in the video description. So our theme is change. It's a bit of a scary word. Sometimes, you know, if change is feeling a little bit on the heavier side, it might be leaning more for me into the word like unknown, challenges. It's all change. If I'm feeling a bit lighter about the change energy, then I might feel it's more like an improvement, because improvement is also change, or an adjustment, which is change. So change to me sort of sits in the middle. It's a bit like if we had a seesaw that the kids sit on either end and it swings up and down, and change is like the middle word. It's like the anchor. It's the word that ripples out into all these others, and there are many others too. So on the lighter side is the adjusting, improving energy, which is still change, and on the heavier end is the unknown, challenges, those sorts of things, resistance, which is also still change. So our focus today is change. Change can be a very confronting word and absolutely a confronting energy, especially if we're leaning to this side of the seesaw and we're facing the unknown and we're resistant of the change as well. If we don't want the change to happen, that makes it harder. If it's a change that's happened to us, that can make it harder too. If it's a change we've instigated, then we may have a little bit of preparation at least as we move into the change. But if it's a change that's happened to us from another person, or a loss of someone, or a separation of some sort, that can make it even more challenging and heavy. So the right side of the seesaw feels heavier and more challenging and more difficult potentially. And then the change on the other side, maybe we are going okay with the changes that we're facing now. I think we're always going through change, and it sort of depends like this as to what it is and how we feel as we're going through the changes. But I do feel part of life itself is change, even though we want stability in life, and it's nice to feel that stability, and hopefully we have a solid foundation that we can come back to when we are experiencing an unsettled change of some sort. But I think life itself is change. So we're always going through changes and cycles and movements from one place to the next. We're never the same person from one day to the next. And the people we live and share our lives with are also changing. So hopefully we're changing together. Sometimes we're changing apart, and sort of changing differently. So I think overall life itself is change. So are we moving with it? So if we're sitting on the other side of the seesaw, if we're feeling a bit more like change is an improvement, or even a flow in some ways, an improvement and adjustment of flow, then we might find that we're trying our best to move with the changes and the cycles and the things that are changing for us at this time, with life itself. If we're moving with it, then there's a sort of a flow and a flexibility that allows us to not be immune to the changes and not necessarily find it easy, because it's still challenging, but maybe we flow through it a little easier. So where are you sitting right now on this sort of change spectrum, I suppose we could say, on this ruler, this seesaw of change? What is going on for you? And just maybe sit with that for a moment. Where are you at with change? Are you resisting it? Resisting it is like, to me, I feel the most resistance to change when it's something that is really important for me to change into or change in my life. So the louder the resistance that throws up to me to try and get me to stop and try and get me not to make this change, or that I'm afraid of this change, or this is not going to work out, this change, and these are little words, thoughts that are popping into my mind. The louder the resistance is, the more I know that there's something amazing on the other side. My life experience has shown me this time and time again for decades, that if I feel resistance, if I just want to run, if I want to back out, if I don't want to do it, if I'm just too scared and I'm too anxious, then I'm letting the fear of this change, the fear of the unknown, I'm letting the resistance win. Because the fear is a very real thing, to me anyway, the way I feel it. The fear is very real. And the fear is trying to keep us small and keep us contained and keep us safe in some ways too. So the fear will throw up a resistance when we're about to move into something potentially good for us, also something potentially devastating. We don't want to be crossing the road into traffic or anything, and putting our life at risk. So I'm not talking about life at risk fear, our survival fear. I'm talking about general changes in our life that we implement, new doors that we walk through, and things that we experience and learning we might go through. So the louder the resistance, the more I know that my small, scared self, my fearful self, is trying to keep me small. It's trying to hold me back. So the louder the resistance is, the more I know that there's something amazing on the other side. And if I can build up my courage to be louder than the fear that I feel, then I can push through. Sorry, the cat's just rubbing up against my stand here and rocking my phone. She'll get over it in a minute, I'm sure. So the louder it is, and the more I can build up my courage to push through the fear, then see what's on the other side. There's usually, in fact, I think I could almost say always something amazing on the other side of the resistance. So when I notice the resistance now coming up in me, the fear, I'm like, okay, I'm building my courage and I'm going for this, because otherwise the resistance wouldn't be so loud. So the louder it is, the more it's trying to stop me from, it's trying to fool me from seeing what's potentially on the other side. And I am not going to listen to the fear and allow it to stop me or keep me small. I want to keep growing. I want to keep pushing myself. I want to keep moving out of my comfort zone, which is what that resistance is. It's on that outer edge of our comfort zone, pushing us into that unknown zone, that zone of change. So this is our change video, our change healing event. So what I'm going to be doing is smudging. Okay, move on. I'm telling my cats, move on over there, please. There you go. So I intend on smudging shortly with sage, and I have my singing bell and Corey's Phoenix drum that I intend to play. I have also already pulled some cards for everyone on the healing list. Oh, the cat really loves this stand. Beep, beep. Move on, please. Go find a sunbeam. So I've already pulled cards for you guys and have messages here ready to go. So I'll share that after smudging, and then I'll drum or do the singing bell. I'm very interested in doing some sort of meditation, so I'm not sure what that will be quite yet. Good morning, Susie and Janice and Jackie. Welcome to all of my patrons, and welcome to all of you who are watching at this time. Let's start with some smudging and clearing up our energy in preparation for going deeper with this healing journey today. I'll be here for about 30 to 40 minutes, I would say. So take some nice big breaths. Now's a great time to think about breathing out and letting go of any extra stress or worry or things that have been on your mind that aren't really necessary to be concerning or worrying ourselves with. So nice big breath. Okay, so we ask this sacred smoke to wash over our bodies and carry away with it all negative energies, entities, cords, hooks, attacks, and attachments. Everything that we're holding on too tightly to that has no room to heal, Let's be willing to let it go and therefore change. Let's be willing to change by letting go. Letting go is a form of change too, because we're choosing through letting go. We're choosing to let our hold go, or let our hold go on that thing that we're holding on to, or the person, or the past event, or our own beliefs and ideals that may be holding us back. So let's be willing to let go. Let's be willing to change, because this is our focus today, is change. So if anything, let's keep coming back to the affirmation, I am willing to change. I am willing to change. I am willing to improve myself based on who I used to be, who I was yesterday, who I was before. Not in comparison to other people, but in comparison to myself, so that I can keep becoming an improved version of me based on my measurements and my assessments and what I observe, not on what other people, who other people want me to be, but who I can confidently be within myself, and that I can establish that confidently by getting to know myself. So letting go and being willing to change. And I'm just going to unplug my thing here. Okay, and so it is. So nice big breath. This is a good time to let go of your worries. Things that you're worried about that aren't really necessary to be worrying about. If you're worrying about a family member or a loved one or a situation, can you, instead of worrying about it, can you send that person or that situation or that area, can you send them love? I'm sure it's much more helpful than worrying. Send them love. Picture them in love. Picture them held in love to be able to make the best decision possible. Okay, that's that. I'm going to go over your names now, and then I'll choose a healing energy card. Actually, no, I'm going to choose this first. So let's start now, or continue with the healing energy card. Hi, Catherine. Nice to see you. So the best healing energy card that we need right now at this point. So cleansing, and we're about to bring in some information and bring in some energy, and then we'll do some drumming and singing bell. So the best healing energy card we need now, the majority of us, is healing energy card deck 2, which is priority. Card 108. Card 108, priority. It's in the category here of depth. So the depth energy moves us deeper. It calls us deeper into ourselves to figure something out, to gain knowledge, to understand something. So down here it says, as you change, your priorities change. Focus, organize, reprioritize, schedule, self-awareness, know when to proceed, time and importance. So priorities, what are your current priorities? And how do they match who you are right now? Because as we change, our priorities absolutely change. So it can be really good to assess our priorities every month or every time we go through a big change. We might find that the motions that we're going through with our schedule and our priorities don't feel the same as we change. So then some tweaks and adjustments may be required as things are bumped off the top of the list or put back up to the top of the list and ordered. I think priorities are in order. We can't do 100 things the same, but we can do 10 things in a certain order, like 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the most important thing for you right now in this moment in your life? What needs your top attention and your top priority and your most amount of time spent on it? And number 2 may come close to that, but we need to figure it out. It can't be 2 at 1. It's got to be 1 and 2. So what is the most important thing? And as we change, we might find number 1 and number 2 switch up, depending on what we're going through. And we might find, I personally like to try and keep about 5, very maximum of 10 things on my priority list, because I need to know what I'm focusing on and how to focus my energy on that, my time and my attention and my resources. I don't want to be focusing on something that's not on my list unless it's an emergency, urgent, sudden thing. I don't want to be concentrating and spending my time and energy and resources on that thing when I've got other things more important that I need to spend my time doing. So working that out is of great value. I find it helps give us structure in our life. Okay, I've got 25 people on our healing list, and I'm going to go through your names, and then I've pulled a card, and the card goes with change. So in most cases, your message will be change and something, depending on the card I pulled for you, and it will just be a word or a couple of words. And what I suggest you do is sit with the words that have come up for you, see how they really fit and feel for you and your body. Maybe write them down if you want to. I'd also be paying attention to the other words that I'm saying, and you may be writing a couple or a few things down that really stand out for you at this time. So change. I'm going to say your name first and then your message. Jackie. Welcome, Jackie. Jackie, your message is change and learn. Change and learn, which we could also add grow, because learning helps us grow. Nicki Mohler, change and adjust. Susan Sonsteng, change and glow, as in glow in light. Jane Corlett, change and let go. Matthew Keith, change and take one step at a time. Chelsea Keith, change and meditate. Christi, change and know that you are your own person. Sally Rogers, change and accept. Anne-Marie Douglas, Anne-Marie Douglas, change and stay focused. Allison, change in the physical, in your body, in your physical life. Angela Fraser, change and explore your heart. Joanne Monroe, change and release expectations. Priscilla Kimboko, change and play. Rebecca Ross, change and find the gift. Suzie Nicholls, change and reflect. A sheep no more, change and take action. Go. There's movement here, acceleration. Avril Daly, Avril, change and drop your burdens. Janice Chalmers, change and welcome in new direction. In other words, change and welcome in change, because new direction is change. Joanna Levine, change. Hold on. Oh yeah, I was trying to read what I said there. Change brings you abundance. Kathleen Glen, change and transform fear into love. Michele Burch, change and unlock from the past, or let go from the past. Nicole Wiggins, change and surrender, which is a letting go. Pamela Florea, change to rebuild in a new and better way. Change to rebuild in a new and better way. Rayna Ortiz, change and let support in. And Teala Smith, change and let go and allow flow. Allow that flow, that movement through change and letting go. Thank you so much. Alrighty, let's move into the singing bell now. I don't like to speak when I'm drumming because I don't know how it comes through on the microphone. So I think what I'm going to do is a bit of a guided meditation around change and perhaps priorities, but especially change with the singing bell. And I'll talk through it a little bit there, and then I will play the bell. Then we'll have a little bit of silence while I switch over to the drum, and then I'll just drum. So I'm not going to speak in between that. So with the drum, I recommend that you just listen. Let yourself listen to the beat of the drum and allow the drum to hold you and support you in a way that you need it, especially around change. If you're struggling to accept change, or you're struggling to move with change, or you're just struggling in general, where does it come back to change? Are you willing to change, or are you holding on to what was and not letting things change and potentially improve? So let the drum support you with that, and I will guide you through a bit with the singing bell. So as I guide you, you're very welcome to listen and follow what I say, or you can go on your own bit of a thing, your own bit of a meditation. You don't have to follow what I'm saying, but if you want to, you're very welcome to. So take a nice big breath and settle into your breathing and settle down into your body. Feel the support of your spine and your bones holding your body in place. And allow your breathing to slow down. Imagine that you have the most comfortable chair sitting there in your heart. It's so soft and comfortable. And imagine bringing yourself down into your heart as you settle and snuggle down into this chair. Really snuggling down, settling down into your heart, into yourself. Reconnecting with your heart and your body, and hopefully with what's most important to you right now. What is most important to you now? What is priority? Maybe you need a break. Maybe you need some time away or some time to yourself, and maybe this needs to be priority, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed and not coping. Maybe your priority needs to be someone else, someone in your care, a relationship renewal or revival. It's okay to put someone else at the top of the list, especially those people in our care, like our children or our loved ones or our elderly. Maybe there's something else that needs to be top priority for you today. What do you need? What do you need to do? What needs your attention? So picture yourself doing this thing that you've determined that you need at this time. Think about how to implement this priority, how to make time for it, what's required of you, how much time will you allow? Are there resources required? What do you need to do to make this priority happen? And if it can't happen now, even though you really need it, then hopefully it can happen soon, when time does allow. So I'm going to start transitioning over to the drum now. So nice big breaths. Settle into that chair, that comfortable chair in your heart. Let it hold you and support you as you receive what you need from the singing bell and the drum to come. Okay, nice big breath. And I imagined as the drum was playing that when we were ready, and as the drum energy was building up, when we were ready, we actually lifted up from that chair in our heart like the phoenix rising from the ashes, as we rose up from the ashes of the past and rose up into the new that calls to us. The new is change. New is change as well. So welcoming new in is change. Welcoming change in. Almost everything, letting go, all of this stuff comes back to change. So again, Let's make sure that we are willing to change, that we are willing to grow, and we are willing to improve ourselves and our relationships and our relationship with our life itself. Let's be willing to change and improve our skills and our skill set and our knowledge. Let's be willing to look closely at ourselves and our flaws and see what needs to change within our own attitude and bad habits and behavior, within our own belief system, with our own things, our own complications that are skewing and altering and distorting how we view ourselves and others and life and situations. So it's a constant change, it's a constant adjustment, it's a constant improvement, hopefully, and challenge as we continue to drop and shed and release and let go of these parts of ourselves, these parts of our lives. So hopefully we continue to refine and continue to improve and continue to better ourselves. And again, not in comparison to others, but better ourselves in comparison to who we used to be yesterday, this morning, last week, last year, 10 years ago. Hopefully we are a continuum of improvement so that we can be the best person that we can be. I know it's important to me. Is it important to you to be and continue to be and continue to become the best person that you can be? What does that mean? How would you define yourself as the best person that you can be? Work out what that means. To me, part of the importance to me in that is that I live by my truth and that I'm clear about what my truth is and what my values and my ethics are, and I live by that. Like, I don't tell lies. This is really important to me. So this is part of my intention in being the best person I can be. This is something that's important to me. Family's important to me. My children, spending time with my children, and now my brand new grandson who's 7 weeks old yesterday. So family, extended family, making time for other people, exceptionally important to me. I want to continue to forge and build and hold strong relationships with people who are important to me. I have to sometimes put other people first before me. Me on my priority list is not really that high, because when I nourish my relationships that are important to me, when I do the things that I love to do, like paint a picture or sculpture or be in my gallery or share with you here, when I do these things that are my priorities, they also give to me because I'm doing them because I want to do them. I'm doing them because I love to do them. So this is me giving to me when I spend time with someone I love. I'm giving to myself because I love spending time with this person. I don't have me as top priority unless I'm in a challenging, difficult, perhaps health questionable, overwhelmed state. If I need to turn everything off and just focus and reconnect and nurture and support me for my own health and healing, that is probably something that happens once a year. So everything else on my priority list gives to me anyway, because it's my priority. It's what I want to be doing. So what is it that you can put on your list that is not necessarily you at the top, but it's those that you love and those that you care for and things you love to do in your life, and the things that you're obligated to do too, like in the workplace or other things that we tend to. So by doing these things, we're giving to ourselves. So let's be careful we don't become too selfish in our priorities. So that's that. I am going to pull a card to go. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you. A big extra special thank you to my Temple of Balance patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support over all of these years. A lot of you have been supporting me for years and years and years, and I thank you so much. And we always welcome new supporters too. So if you'd like to be included on this healing list next month, which also, so what happens on Patreon is there's different pledge levels or different sort of pledge amounts that you pledge to at a certain level, you get access to certain resources. So at this particular level is the $15 level for the month, so $15 US. And that gives you access to the healing list, plus you become a Pillar of Light member, plus you receive a healing support video for members only. And I think that's all for the $15. So that's for the month. So you're very welcome to join, and we always welcome new members, and I'd love to connect with you next month. Next month technically is our Planting the Seeds for New Beginnings. It happens every September, but I'm not really planning on planting any new potatoes this year. So I will have to think about that in a different way. I might plant something else. But planting the seeds for new beginnings happens every September for us for our healing list event. So that will be the end of September. And but let's grab a card now to go. I'm looking for the best card that the majority of us need as we move forward from here. So how can we carry this change that's hopefully influenced and supported us today? How can we carry this priority energy through? How can we apply this in our life? How can we be more willing to change and improve ourselves? So the best card to support us as we move forward from here is also from the second deck, and it is New Beginnings. I love this. It's card 75, New Beginnings. It's in the action category. Action is pretty self-explanatory. It's about action. It's about taking action. It's about moving forward in our life. It's about where are we going? What are we doing? What's the direction that we're moving in? It's very much about our life's path moving forward, and productivity, proactivity in taking the action steps that are required. Changes happen when we take action, plus in other instances too. But action helps instigate and support what we want to change into or improve. So new beginnings, it says down here, walk forward now. Have courage to overcome your fear or resistance to change. Fullness, ripe fertility. Something's getting ready to birth. Something's getting ready to pop out and birth itself in the world. Spring is in the air, literally. Creativity, birth, the birthing of something. A bright future ahead. Especially as we sort out our priorities. Priorities give us structure, and structure in our life is good. Structure balances the flow and the unknown. It's like the order and the chaos, or the yin-yang energy. It's a balance between things. So if we just sit back or let flow everything, then we're tend to be missing that foundation, that structure, the structural element that's required, the foundations. So if we can build a structure and then flow within that structure, it is incredibly powerful. I've been living that way for a long time, and it is really powerful. It says the unknown, uncertainty, which is always around. Prepare, ready, take action, and move. So this is a lot of action, a lot of movement. We're getting ready to pop something out, to birth something new. This card, or this illustration as I drew it, all this black sort of energy through here is the like steam coming off the back as we let the past go and we let the old go. We're willing to change and move out of that old stuff, and we're moving towards the light, pregnant, nurturing, glowing as we move forward. We're holding this new that we're birthing and growing, or not birthing, but growing within us, preparing for the birth. So new beginnings are here. This is quite an exciting, motivating energy, actually. It reminds me a bit of the phoenix with the phoenix drum. So it is like stepping out and stepping into new beginnings. New beginnings await us. We are ready for them, hopefully. Let's walk towards them. Let's walk towards the change. New beginnings is change. Let's walk towards the change. Let's walk towards the new beginnings. Use whatever word you need that feels best to you in regards to this changing energy. So it's change, but it's new beginnings. It's a fresh new start. It still is change. I am willing to change. I'm willing to walk forward towards the new beginnings and the next chapter in my life. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Take care, and goodbye for now.